Hello everyone and welcome to Time for a New Watch. I'm Jeff and today we're going to be talking about a watch that is not exactly new, but it is right here in front of us. The Seiko Marinemaster 300, the model number SBDX017. So I wanted to talk about this because, well, I just recently got one. In fact, the day I received this was the day that the internet seemed to find out that it was discontinued. So I kind of got lucky there because the price immediately jumped a good amount. And now I'm sitting here on a pretty sweet Marinemaster. Well, let me get into talking about it and tell you about its features and what to expect in a new one, pretty much. I mean, I guess you could call it kind of a review, but a review of a discontinued watch that nobody can buy new anymore. Well, yeah, why not? Who cares? So anyway, let's get right into it. Now, first thing I want to talk about is actually the bezel. You can see right now it's super shiny and almost has a ceramic quality to it. Here's the thing, that is not a ceramic bezel insert. This is just applied, I don't even know exactly what it is. I've heard it's like lacquered paint applied directly to the stainless steel. Whatever it actually is, it is beautiful, it is unique, but it scratches super easily. Like, it scratches really easily. I got a scratch right around the 10, you can see that there? That's the one little mark that I found that I have in it, like right up here above the 10. But it's holding up pretty okay, I'd say. Obviously, you know, if it were a ceramic bezel, it would not scratch as easily, but might crack more easily. I don't know, like there's plenty of pros and cons about all the different kinds of bezel inserts, but this one, oh look, now that I get it in the light, there's a little mark right there too. So, you know, just for this particular watch was like bought, when I got it, the papers showed that it was purchased in like December 2017. So, you know, this is just a few months of use here. Oh, actually 8 months now? Yeah, I guess that's not too bad for wearing it 8 months. I'd certainly have scratches on any bezel for after 8 months, especially the, you know, common aluminum insert ones. But yeah. It's a beautiful bezel, super unique, and in terms of the next Seiko Marinemaster, which I'm sure will come out soon, we're probably going to see this bezel replaced with a ceramic insert because people online are like clamoring for that. They really want it. But I personally think this one is very unique in the horological world, and I really like it. I like this bezel quite a lot. The bezel action is pretty good. Like, it's probably the best one I've owned so far. You can see it's just nice, it's smooth. There's not really a lot of play. I mean, there's a little bit, but it's solid. It feels good to turn. I just missed it, so sorry for all you OCD viewers. That looks like it's off by one click. Anyway. Next, and here, take a look at the side of the bezel here. It's really nice. It's easy to grip. It's got that nice beveling and everything. It's a decent bezel. I like it. Next thing I want to talk about though is another really unique feature, I think, and it's the handset here. Now, I don't know if you can even see it on this video. Like, I don't know how close I can get this and still have it stay in focus. Yep, that's not bad. Let's do that. So you can see here, the hands are like super nice. They have like a mix of finishing. They're brushed and they're polished on certain places. Like, the second hand is all brushed. You can see it moving around there. But the hour and minute hands, they almost have like a knife edge quality to them, where the edges are beveled and polished, but the rest of it is all brushed in that one direction. And it's just a beautiful beautiful effect. And they are super high quality hands, and like, I really, really like those. They're just great. I hope to see those on the next Marinemaster, but who knows? Anyway, so let's take a look at the dial now. I'll get the hands out of the way here. By the way, hacking movement, obviously, but I'll get to the movement next. So let me move the hands out of the way. I'll move it to the good old here. Very nice to watch. 1010, that's what everyone takes a picture at. All right, so you see the text on the dial, Marinemaster Automatic Professional 300 meters. That is definitely not going to be there in the next iteration of this watch whenever it comes out. It's going to have the Prospex X on it that a lot of people do not really seem to like that much. But yeah, personally, I don't really like the Prospex X on it, but I can live with it. I don't really care that much. There's applied indexes, as you can see. They're really nicely done. On later SBDX017 models, the loom is actually machine applied, so it's very even and everything. On earlier models, you can get dials with hand-applied loom, which is obviously not going to look as even, but does add kind of a unique value to the watch. It's either way, I think you're good. I personally like the machine-applied loom. It just, I mean, it just makes the watch a little more sterile and everything, and I think it really matches this Marinemaster 300 quite well there. Next, the loom itself. Amazing. Best loom I've personally ever owned. I've never owned a really high-end watch. This is the most expensive watch I've personally ever owned. But the loom is bright, like really bright. Like if you're in the sunlight and you walk into a shadow, you can see the loom glowing, and it lasts a very long time. Earlier SBDX001 models will have a more cream colored loom. You see this one has a slight green tint to it, but this one glows 60% longer than that one. So, I mean, it doesn't, if it matters to you anyway. I'm not going to go on and on about the loom, just know that it's real good. So next, look at that the date wheel here. I don't know like if this is really coming through in the video, but that date wheel in there where the date is, that is stainless steel. It looks really nice. Like it's just very nice. The numbers are very nicely printed. I just don't think that I can capture it in the video. I keep trying to, but it's not really working real well. It just kind of looks silverishy, but you can't really see the texture on it. It's a beautiful date wheel and also kind of unique. I can't think of another watch that has that, though I'm sure there is one. I just don't know it. Whatever, let's go to the crown, which is unscrewed right now. It has your Prospex X on it. The SBDX001, the older model, does not have a Prospex X on it. It's just a sterile crown. Or, yeah, I think it's a sterile crown. It might have the Seiko S on it. I'm just going to go with sterile, and everyone can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. So there you go. It does screw in, hand winds. Not all Seikos hand wind. This one does. It winds very smoothly and everything. But screwing it in can be a bit of a challenge to get it to thread in. This time it threaded in perfectly for me, and there you go, it's screwed in now. But sometimes it can be difficult to thread in, and I think that's something you need to be careful for, because older Marinemaster 300s had a crown tube problem where the thread would get like, it would get messed up, and it would screw in less and less, and eventually they would get totally stripped. So that's something to watch out for if you're buying older Marinemaster 300s, which obviously you have no choice because that's all that's available now. You can't get them new at the moment anyway. So next, the crystal. It is Seiko's proprietary Hardlex mineral crystal, kind of domed there as you can see with beveled edges. Everyone knows about Hardlex, I'm sure. It can be scratched, and the scratches cannot be buffed out very easily or at all, I don't know. But it's easy to replace, and many people actually replace this with a sapphire glass, which is something that is expected to happen in the next Marinemaster iteration, whenever it's released. And so I expect, not sure if it's exact, I don't think it's confirmed anywhere as of this video, but I expect there will be ceramic bezel and sapphire glass like everyone's clamoring for. But I think the Hardlex gives it kind of gives a warmth to the dial that just can't really be replicated by sapphire. And I like that, but at the same time, sapphire could work with this watch because it does kind of have a sterile feel to it, right? Especially now with the printed lume and everything. But yeah, once again, I could go either way, but yeah, I won't go any more into that. Let's talk about the movement. It is a Seiko's 8R35 movement. Can you see that on the dial there? You can probably barely see it. But anyway, it's 28,800 beats per hour, the same as your ETA, most ETA movements like the 2824 that's in a lot of dive watches. But this one has a like 50-hour power reserve. Mine is getting something like 56 hours out of its power reserve. And it's just a really nice automatic movement, but I think it's a little thick, which I'll get to soon. So it's a nice movement. This somehow the second hand seems to move even a little smoother than my ETA watches. I don't think I can prove that or anything. It's just a feeling I have. I think it moves more smoothly. Anyway, let's get on to the case, because it is a beautiful case. Look at these like brushing, polishing, the camphor. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I've only read that word. But anyway, it's just a beautiful, beautiful case. And here's another fun fact about the case. It is monocoque. That means you do not open it from the back. It's a one-piece case. It can only be opened from the front. You take the bezel off, you take a screw, you take like a little screw ring out, then you take out the glass. Then I assume you take out the chapter ring, and you have to go through all that, go through the front to get to the movement. It is a beautiful case though. The measurements, it is 44 millimeters wide, it is 50 millimeters tall, lug to lug, and it is a little over 15 millimeters thick. So it's a thick watch. It does have lug holes. Those are always nice to have. But it's a big case, and it's also a very heavy watch. It's definitely the heaviest I've owned. However, saying all that, somehow it wears more like a 42 millimeter watch, because as you can see, the bezel is actually smaller than the case here, just by a little bit. And it does wear, also because of the dial size, smaller than 44 millimeters. It's actually very comparable in size to a two-door Black Bay, but this kind of hides its thickness with these amazing chamfered, kind of like Seiko grammar of design case edges here. It's beautiful. Now I think this is such a thick watch because the movement is quite thick. So you can see even like on the back it kind of bulges out a bit here. So it's probably a pretty thick movement in there. But anyway, it is a beautiful case. I very much enjoy it. It's just got all these great little touches and features to it. Please excuse the fingerprints. I actually, I wiped it off before I started filming this, but obviously I've been touching the watch and I don't wear gloves. But yeah, beautiful, beautiful watch. The bracelets is, well, when it came out in, the early 2000s, it was probably pretty good. Now is not so good. It has, what is it called? Friction bars rather than screw bars. So it's kind of a thinner bracelet. but it's not bad. It's comfortable anyway. And it works well with the watch. I think it looks better on the bracelet than on most other straps. Now this, the clasp, take a look here. This is the one thing people don't like about it, the thickness. It's pretty thick, yeah? But here's one thing that's pretty cool about it. It is a ratcheting clasp. You open this here and, oh right, I should probably open the clasp before I do this. Oh right, I forgot. There it is. You push the buttons. It's not like I'm used to other clasps right now. But anyway, so it is a ratcheting clasp here. You pull this out, and you can. What am I doing wrong? That's what I'm doing wrong. I've never done it from this angle before. I do it while it's on my wrist, and it's super easy. But there you go. So you can kind of like, it's a diver's extension, it's a ratchet, it works pretty nicely. It just, you know, goes back in easily. It comes out by pushing the clasp here, or the whatever this is. You push it out a little bit, and you know, it's nice. It works. Now notice the clasp is a lot more like, there's a lot more scratches on it than the rest of the watch, and that's because it is titanium, so it scratches more easily than the entire rest of the watch, but I guess it's light. I mean, I don't know why just the clasp is titanium, but that is what's going on with the clasp here. So one more thing about this watch is it is covered in Seiko's DiaShield coating, which makes it harder to scratch. So the case is pretty scratch-free for me anyway, so far. It really hasn't scratched like most of my watches would have scratches on the case by now, no doubt. But not this one. It's nice in that regard. And one more little thing. This also, let me put this down here and refocus. I kind of got sick of my camera's autofocus BS, so I've been manual focusing this whole time. So here is this. It is the, I believe they call it the waffle strap. It comes with the watch. I personally don't like it that much. Didn't work for me. It's not that it looks bad or anything. I think it looks great, but it just isn't really for me. I mean, here, you can kind of get an idea of what it might look like there. But like I said, not really for me. It just didn't fit that well, doesn't feel that good, but it does look really good. I just don't like it, just doesn't work for me. It's also, the main issue I think is that it is long. This section here, like, I have like this much tail sticking out. It's just not a good look for me. But hey, it comes with the watch and it is a nice looking strap. So why not just try it out if you have it, whatever. I'm gonna go ahead and fix the bezel for all my OCD viewers like me. Yay. Alright, so that is pretty much all I have to say about the Marinemaster, the Seiko Marinemaster 300. It's a beautiful watch with like a Grammar of Design style case, and it's very nice. I think the most similar watch from like the most comparable watch in terms of, you know, features and size is probably the two-door Black Bay, because it's really similar in size and thickness. Although this one is bigger, it is thicker, it is heavier, and it has less power reserve, but they're not exactly in the same price bracket. So it's kind of like if you wanted a two-door Black Bay and you didn't quite have enough, but you had enough for this, you wouldn't be sad getting this. It's not bad at all. So anyway, go ahead and subscribe, comment, leave, if you have any questions, corrections, go ahead and leave them in the comments. This is Jeff with Time for a New Watch, and thank you very much for watching.